To become a GigaChat Path of Exile gamer, I decided to speedrun Act 1 10 times. My first run was 60 minutes, my last run was 34. I want to share you all the tips, the tricks that I learned to decrease that time. Let's go! First things first, we need to download Logout macro. For that, we first download AutoHotkey and then we download the Logout macro. After downloading and installing it, we need to open it up and set up two main hotkeys, which is Logout and back to Hideout. Next, let's cover your loot filter. I prefer to have a sound on for transmute shards or transmutes because they're really important, and you also want to make sure that the links and colors that you need are going to get highlighted. Feel free to use my loot filter. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description. It has like Heroes Might and Magic sound, so it's cool as fuck. Next important thing, you want to enable two movement commands so you can move and have an item on your cursor, and you want to enable auto equip in the game settings. Before we start the run, you need to know exactly what skills you're playing and at what point they become available. So you can do this by opening PoWiki and looking through these 5 quests in Act 1. So here we see all the rewards, what becomes available, so here we know, okay, well, Split Arrow becomes available after the first quest, then we get Onslaught Mirage Archer from the Mercy mission, after that we destroy some eggs and we get a dash and a puncture, and etc, etc. So the alternative to that is going to PoE gems, and it's kind of similar to that. You have all the gems here, but it's a bit harder. Here it's easier because it's like those are the 5 times that you'll get new quests, new items, new skills. Jesus Christ! Alright, now we can start the run. So, kill Brutus, pick up the shit. As soon as you enter town and the loading's over, you log out, log back in. It puts you in the center of the city, so you save a little bit of time. You go to the vendor, you pop this message that you've pre-made before. It will show you the links that you need and movement speed boots, so that's huge. And remember that the order of those letters is really important. A GGB is not going to be the same as BGG, so you want to make sure that all those variations are covered. Another thing, if you see that the vendor is selling a Chrome recipe item, which is 3 different color links linked together, it is not a bad idea to buy it for 1 wisdom scroll, because then you can pick up all sorts of 3-link, maybe evasion bases, and you are going to be more likely to have a green in my case earlier on, you know? If you're playing this build, it's also not a bad idea to be on the lookout for, was it Overcharged and Deadeye, that gave us jewelry, because getting iron rings and the rustic sash for this build is crazy strong early on, and that's pretty much the only way you can increase your damage early on, so do those as soon as you get them. You want to make sure you're picking up all blues, rares, and even normal items, because we will need a lot of wisdom scrolls, we will need a lot of transmutes to get the skills that we need. So yeah, as a reminder, un-ID'd items will give you alteration shards, ID'd items will give you transmutation shards. So you want to balance it out and pick up whenever you need them, basically. Get the waypoint, kill the eggs, enter the cave, go kill Frost guy, go back home. Pick up the yellow items first, and then everything else that fits in your inventory. Now that we're back in town, we get Onslaught, we get Quicksilver. Now, ideally, we have 3 green linked links, in which we use Split, Onslaught, Pierce. We have a green-red, which is Puncture plus Bleed, and we have 1 green socket for our movement, which is Dash. And to Submerged Passage we go! Awesome, now we're here. Kill all the seafood. Once you get to this bridge, you want to drop a portal to get back to it later and go kill the crabby dude later on. Unfortunately, didn't have any portal scrolls in this run, whoop-de-doo, so I'm just skipping it, I think. Important note, if you log out, your portal is gone, so if you do leave the portal to get back to it, you want to just rush to the climb, get that waypoint, and TP back. I think you have 15 minutes to do it, so should be good enough. Boom! Now we're ledge. Get the ledge, be afraid of goats, they can kill you, get the waypoint, run to the climb, get to the climb. Now, we don't need to get waypoint here, but it can get pretty hectic, so if you need to log and you don't have a waypoint and you need to run, everyone's gonna be sad, including you. Now we're in the sex dungeon. Log in, log out, get the skills you need. We're going for Void Manipulation, Ballistas, and Caustic Arrow. So the plan for the prison is you run, you proc Onslaught, you drop Ballista. Ballista cleans up whatever you don't kill. Dot is really nice, so you just want to be running through those nasty corridors, dropping your stuff, killing shit. It's really cool, really fun. Alright, time to fight the Dungeon Master. So ideally, if you don't have Battle Flasks at this point, you just gotta buy them. And I think by the time we finish the zone, ideally we want to be level 10 so we can immediately equip the movement spells that we get after this quest. Alright, you fight the angry boy, you kill him, you pick up all the stuff and you log out immediately. You don't need to get the next waypoint, it will be unlocked automatically. We log back in, we get our movement abilities. I was experimenting with using both Smoke Mine and Blink Arrow, but you can just use one if you want. Next, we just follow the main road until we find Piety, then we hug either wall until we find a narrow corridor, and we go down that corridor till we get to the next zone. Now, we get to Boat Cemetery, so we get the waypoint, we find Fairgrace, and we look for the cave or the caverns. Here I found caverns first, got the waypoint, got out, and continued looking for the cave. I'm not sure how this layout works, I still couldn't quite figure it out. So, find cave, go cave, touch dead girl, go back, kill pirate, log out, go back to town, and in my case, we pick up Toxic Rain finally. So we get Toxic Rain for ourselves, we get Toxic Rain for our Ballistas, and we get Blind for our Ballistas. So our main link is going to be Toxic Rain, Onslaught, and Void Manip that we leveled, right. And then we go kill the squid girl. Last thing that I forgot to mention, before you fight the boss, you want to make sure that you have some cold resistance. You could have done it before, I'm kind of wasting time here, this wasn't perfect, but yeah, just get some cold res, and in general, I guess, if you're fighting a boss in PoE, just check if your resistances are good. Here, you probably don't face tank any abilities, and you should be good. Yeah, drop your totems, run around, especially when she gets to her squid phase, you want to be moving around when the little squids appear, because they can bop you pretty fast. And that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure you're going to be fine. Don't know who needed this information, but I hope you enjoyed, and have a great day. Stay sane, Exile.